Hi guys, I'm doing a quick check-in here for you on all the Ayurveda questions because I don't want to leave you hanging, and I want you also to I don't want to leave you hanging, and I want you to be able to have some time to dive in a little bit more so that on our live call next week you can continue to ask good deep questions. I love all the questions. Okay. So here we go. I've got two computers going, so sorry if I'm physically distracting to you because I'm going back and forth because it's just because I do. Okay, number one, let's talk for a minute about the daily routine. So I brought with me the tongue scraper. First thing in the morning, scrape your tongue. That starts the process of getting you to pay attention to ama, which is the toxic buildup from the inside out. Your tongue, first thing in the morning. I'm not going to do it now. It's late in the day. I've already had food and drink. You do it first thing in the morning. That's it. And all I want you to do with that is start to pay attention. Notice when you have more gunk. Notice when you have less gunk. Notice what time of the month it is. Notice the moon. Notice what you've been eating. And you don't need to do a ton, just very gentle. BanyanBotanicals.com has all of the videos on all the morning routines. So I'm just going through them, the 4 that I really recommend. You can use Banyan. Whole Foods has a lot of products too, but Banyan has a morning routine pack, so just feel free to use it. Here's the nasal Nasaya oil or Nasya oil, depending on the teacher. You take a little and you go beep, 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 right into your nose. I'm not going to do it because I've already done it this morning. I just got a little bit of oil in my hand, so I'm just going to oil there. But just really gentle and slow. Just a little, and then take some deep breaths. Oh, it's so good. I can smell it. It's delicious. Shake it up before you use that, okay? There are directions in all of this. And how to use it on it, okay? Daily swish, that's what I do next. Shake it up a little bit, and it comes with a little dosing cup like medicine. Put a little bit in there, swish, swish, and then I usually spit it outside when I walk Miller in the morning. Just don't spit it down your drain because it is oil. Keeps your mouth so healthy. It keeps the germs, healthy germs. It protects you. It heals your gums and your teeth. Awesome. And lastly, I have here the Abhyanga massage oil. Listen, if you have all the time, you can do the whole body massage, okay? Again, there's lots of great self-massage videos on banyanbotanicals.com, so feel free to use those. But you also can just do, maybe just get in the habit of just doing your hands or just doing your shoulders or just doing your chest, just doing your neck. So yes, there is a big practice where you could do your whole body and take a lot of time, or a little time. I rub up the oil in my hands, and just sometimes I only have, a few minutes to just rub my shoulders and rub my arms and maybe put a little bit on my face and just kind of feel into the sensation of my body. So I'm talking fast through it. I'm not saying you need to go fast through it. I'd prefer you not, but I don't want you to make these rituals like this big, huge thing. So we start the day with these kind of daily practices that we build the habit of taking care of ourselves, the habit of scraping our tongue, the habit of our nose, especially right now during allergy season. It's so great to have those oils in the nostrils, cleaning, cleansing, and lubricating. Okay? So that was our daily routine, morning routine. Okay. The John Douillard book that I posted some pictures of in that thread is really about athletics and sports. And it talks a lot about the body types and how they eat for body type based on the activity they have. So feel free to check it out. I posted the pictures that were most relevant, that weren't so specific to athletics. But just know that John Douillard is a guy. He's got 6 kids. He lives in Colorado, and he teaches a lot of, I think his company is called Life Spa. Yeah, Life Spa. Teaches a lot, and he may be more relevant to your family. I am introducing you to divine feminine teachers. I'm introducing you to the feminine perspective. So there's not going to be a lot of masculine energy or teachers in what we're doing, even though Dr. Vasant Lad, who's like the grandfather of modern yoga, Ayurveda here in the West, obviously is a man, but he's extremely soulful and spiritual and sensitive and beautiful. So is John Duyard. But again, I'm just giving you a variety of flavors for you to pick from. Okay, so now I'm going to go to your question. So I just want to say I already posted a bunch of those pictures, and I'm about to give the book away, actually, to Gail's husband. I texted him and asked if he wanted it. I wanted to point out, some of you guys are asking questions about, I'm pulling up your questions. Okay, some of you guys are asking questions about deeper ancestral healing meditations and prayers and blessings. And I'm just asking you to make sure that in Thinkific, in the content, you are looking at the library and resources, because in there's a guide to Ayurveda from Dr. Lad, but then there is the Carry Generations from John Duyard. There's 2 Yoga Healer posts on ancestral patterns, and there is practices within the ancestral connection. There's some race ancestral healing, and then there's the Sarita Rocco Ayurveda rituals and ancestral, and then Mother Maya Tawari's interview on Ayurveda and feminine energy, which does talk about healing also. So there's bits and pieces. I'm not going to spoon feed you like the one. I'm giving you some options for you to have your own experience. And please don't try, like I've said, to rush through it. It's more of an experience with it over this month and next month. Also in the community, now I'm going to pick up this. In the community, there is a Tarpana, let me see. I posted some really beautiful, okay, so if you go into content, so when I'm posting things on Mighty that are not like a direct question or exploration from this month, I post it into content, and that's a deeper dive for you. So here in content, there's a picture that says conclusion, and in the bottom it says Beyond Ayurveda. It looks like only maybe 2 of you have really seen this. So I really invite you to look here. Jocelyn asked a question, and Corinne and Bridget. I'm just going to tag you on this so you know where to find it. But in this content link, there is, and I'm sorry if this is confusing, meaning you wanted it somewhere else. I'm always open to feedback if you feel like, I know that it's confusing to go back and forth between Thinkific and Mighty for some of you. So I'm aware of that and haven't figured out quite yet how to solve that problem. So still thinking about it. In the meantime, here's the information. So if you look into content, there is another few inspirations in Tarpana. Typically, Tarpana is very simple. Here's the prayer that you can use also for environment, for Ayurveda, for your healing. That's all in that content thread that starts with conclusion. Unless you're already immortal, your health is a dynamic condition, not a permanent state. Because Tarpana, traditionally, you would just grab some flowers and maybe a picture. Let's see if I was going to do one here. Look, here I am, little me. And I might just sit for a few minutes. I might light a candle. And I'm just bringing to mind, I'm smelling these flowers, and I might just bring to mind this little girl and what she was going through. And I might just spend a few minutes kind of connecting with her, asking her what she needs. Maybe I'll give her a big hug. Maybe take her out and play in the park, do something fun together. So again, you can kind of create your ritual. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And it's more about the honoring of the spirit. It's more about connecting. I just had this picture right here of me as a child because I've been doing a lot of child healing stuff. And that's what I want you to have the experience with is, okay, I understand that in this 5,000-year-old tradition, or this very ancient wisdom, we always say 5,000 years, but I don't actually know that that's totally accurate. So I know that it's very ancient. In this ancient tradition, there is a teaching that says, honor the ancestors, that part of our own path to healing and wholeness and wellness and vitality is honoring where we came from. And that means the people, and it also means the versions of us. And so I want you to just embrace that in terms of thinking about, wow, there's this practice within this health tradition that asks us to honor our beloved ancestors and not so beloved ancestors, and ask questions and sit with them and give them some care and attention. And that's it. So I don't mean to say that's it and it's quick and it's done. I mean, sort of over time, over each year, maybe at this time of year, typically it's done in the fall. But again, we don't have to hold so tight to when it's done or taught to us, more how it feels in our current life and what is presenting for us, and about just giving a little nod, a little sacred awareness that how our lives are unfolding in this moment, our thought patterns, our beliefs are not just ours. They come from society and they come from our ancestors. And that's part of that self-compassion forgiveness and the self-compassion circles that were in the content call. That's the other thing I would say is actually to Jocelyn and Corinne, if you go to the content call PDF, March Ayurveda PDF, I would look at those slides, open link. I would take a look at that, and that might also have, I think that has a practice in there for you too. So the March content PDF also, okay? Okay, so yeah, I love that you guys are starting to share with your partners and share with your kids. They may not get it, and that's okay. We have developed this community of learning and support over time. And sometimes when we get really excited about something and we start to show it to our husbands and show it to our kids, they're sort of like, another thing, Mom, or another new thing. And so keep it close, keep it relevant, share away, but have it be, but don't try to force it, and give yourself time, right? There's some wonderful books about Ayurveda for kids. I posted about it a while ago. I'm trying to remember where and when, but a while ago. If you want that link again, I can send it to you. It's just Amazon, Google Ayurveda for kids, because there's a book that comes up. Which is fine. I got one from the library, which was fine. Again, just kind of give them some breathing room. And most importantly, guys, beyond sharing it with spouses or husbands or best friends, integrate yourself. Learn how you operate. Learn what dosha is in balance and out of balance. Begin to see the world through the doshic perspective. Start to think about, well, how is this interacting with me? How is this making me feel? How am I nourishing myself today? What are my senses? How am I feeling into my life? And so that is more important than trying to teach our husbands or our kids anything else, because when we become the models of health and energy and vitality, someone says, oh, you're different. What are you doing? And then you've got this great opportunity to say, oh, I learned this cool ancient wisdom, and it's really changing my perspective in my life. So integrate yourself. And Cheryl said, my Vata, my brain is not settled yet into... Here we go. Into all of the Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So reading about it at another lens would help. I did an online assessment. I'm super Pitta, followed by Kapha and almost non-existent Vata. Not sure what to do with this knowledge. Looking forward to figuring it out. I don't think you have to do anything at this moment except for start to pay attention to when you feel in balance and when you feel out of balance, what's happening on your tongue, what's happening when we ask you to do these practices of healing, what's happening with your connection to season. understanding that, again, we're not just one of these 5 elements, we're made of all of them. And if you're postmenopausal or menopausal, you're moving towards the Vata stage of life, which is drier. There's a lot of the oiling practices, the abhyanga, the self-massage, is super important for Vata stage of life because that's the driest stage of life. Kapha is heavy, moist, and mucousy, and very lubricated, and Vata stage, because it is very dry, right? That's what happens in the life cycle. So just paying attention to that. And again, if we're super Pitta, how does that work for you? How does the fire work for you? How does it work in terms of your own transformation, in terms of your own action? And then how do you get out of balance, and what does that look like? And a lot of the Ayurvedic prescriptions are so intuitive, you guys. They're not really challenging. You don't need an Ayurvedic doctor to start integrating. For example, if you wake up and you feel really angry and irritated, having 5 cups of coffee is going to heighten that Vata, right? That's very hot, stimulating, fiery, acidic. So if you wake up super cranky, what could you do? If you're waking up and you feel angry and you feel the fire of the Pitta, warm, not hot, but warm water. Take a cool shower, cool bath. Coconut is cooling. Cucumbers are cooling. If it's cool outside, go for a nice cool walk. But if you have a lot of Pitta, getting on something and building more heat and fire, especially if you're in the summer, you wouldn't want to go for a hot run in the summer. If you're feeling fiery, you want to cool it. For me, cooling my Pitta takes the Stop and Smell the Roses. That's the prescription. So having fresh flowers to smell the sweetness of life, because Pitta fire needs more sweetness, is amazing prescription. Just cooling myself, pausing, helps me calm my Pitta so that I can be an imbalanced Pitta, because I have a lot of Pitta, and so it's having an imbalanced Pitta. Bridget also asked about the male-oriented. I would say Dr. Lad, like I said, is the founder, not founder. He is the man who's basically brought it to the West. Also, Deepak teaches a lot about Ayurveda, and John Duyard. Those are all male teachers. Any other questions on here? I don't think I see any. Bring any others to Monday's call. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if it is by just sending me a little note. And below in Mighty, you can just post, I watched this and this was helpful, or I have more questions. Okay,